guess should we just dive right in? No.
We might as well.
All right. So I just did these by order of release. This seemed like the logical way. The logical way. So we got all 14 Star Trek movies here. 14 official Star Trek movies. Yes,
14. That's crazy to think about.
Woo.
Well, here's a real crazy fact that I was thinking about. Do you realize that right now we are living in the biggest stretch between Star Trek movies since 1979?
Oh, whoa, we are, aren't we?
Yeah, we just passed the time between whatever's coming out next and beyond is now exceeded. I think the other stretch was between 2009 and Nemesis. And we surpassed that one. Mm.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, I'm trying to remember, did Beyond come out in 2016?
Yeah,
15.
They released it for the 50th anniversary. And now it seems like they might be struggling to get the next one out for the 60th.
Oh yeah, okay. Bring DS9 back, you cowards!
Yes, do a Deep Space Nine movie. You can do it.
They really should. It's like a crime that there isn't a Deep Space Nine movie.
Yeah, well, there was that documentary where they essentially did One Day in the Writers' Room. Did you see that, Lindsay?
I did. Wait, actually, yeah, our bad. Why is that not on the list here? We got to include what we left behind here. Come on.
I didn't know that existed.
I thought about bringing it up, but there's lots of Star Trek documentaries. It would just get bogged down.
That's actually a good point.
But yeah, but it's a cool documentary, and they did spend a day figuring out what the season premiere of Deep Space Nine season 8 would be. And I was like, I want this now.
Right? That's exactly my thought. Like, holy shit. Okay, tease us much.
Yeah. This is awesome.
She's on Deep Space Nine, but as a Vedic. If there was a religious revival on Bajor.
Also just a real tearjerker. Like, it's just really well put together, really well paced.
Yeah,
it's incredible seeing all the actors back together again, even if it's only just for a couple of moments. Like I think it was Avery Brooks's birthday recently, and they tweeted out a picture of him and Sirach, who played what was his name? His son Jacob, who played Jacob on DS9, and man, the fact that they're still friends just makes me so happy.
No, that's awesome that they're still buddies. Yeah. I considered putting on here, but there's so many Star Trek documentaries. It just wouldn't work. But,
also, the Galaxy Quest documentary by Screen Junkies, really good. Did you ever see that?
I have not seen that one. No.
I don't know. I just saw it in theaters once, and honestly, it got to me. I cried when they started touching on Alan Rickman and stuff like that. And it was just really good. Yeah. Anyway, but Star Trek, not Screen Junkies.
Now you got me thinking about how Galaxy Quest they had put together a sequel for it, but it was set to start shooting in 2016, and then Alan Rickman. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do it without him.
Yeah,
I mean, it just wouldn't be the same.
Yeah.
Thank God they're not owned by Disney, otherwise they would have deep faked him.
Oh my God, it's getting scary.
Right.
There's all these commercials by people who have no idea. No. All right, I guess we should dive into the
yes.
Okay, this is. I guess I'll give you guys a hint of my list. There are 4 of these I would consider here. And maybe only one I'd consider D tier. We'll have to deal with negotiations, but those are my thoughts going in. And motion picture is definitely an S tier or a D tier. No,
I was about to say, holy crap! Just run just the top or bottom, no middle. Okay.
Yeah, I don't believe in a middle ground at all. No, listen, I don't hate the motion picture, but. Listen, I feel like the motion picture was set up for people who love Star Trek and were missing the series, and for that it hits them just right. But if you are just coming into this franchise, kind of interested to check out the Star Trek thing, that's
it's not going to grab
easy opener. Yeah.
The motion picture is good artistically.
Yeah,
but the pacing is so bad.
No, it might be visually the best of all the Star Trek movies. Like,
and it's got like a fun soundtrack, which I was really able to take notice of because they just kept on doing nothing.
Yeah, because there would be nothing going on, so here's just a soundtrack piece.
And I would be like, that is pretty cool. But please, I beg you.
Do you know how they made some of that sound, especially for like when they show the cloud or just aspect parts of V'ger? You know how they did that?
No, feed me trivia.
They had like this like 30-foot long sheet metal that they would bang like an empty like artillery round on. Like a big ass like tank round, and it would just boom. It was kind of cool to watch them recreate it.
Yeah, that is very cool. No, technically, the first one is actually amazingly like kind of well done. Like I said, the visuals on it look great.
Yeah,
I will tell you though, I don't like what was happening with the uniforms though. They looked weird. Everything else looked really nice, but the
uniforms somehow work better in the other ones where they just dye them red, and that somehow just looks better.
Well, they didn't look like Starfleet uniforms. It was too much of a departure.
Yeah,
at least I think anyway.
It's like it was all monotone, and it looked like really similar to like some of the guys' skin tones, and it just looked weird.
Yeah, there was that aspect too. Plus the story. Like this is like, I feel like this is a Star Trek suffers from this occasionally, where you have, I swear to God, like a half hour of story, but we're going to stretch it. We're just going to stretch it as hard as we can.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess where I'm sitting with it is I think I'd probably go B tier with it.
B is fair because, like,
I was thinking of C, honestly.
Is a C? I guess C's okay. Like, because I like that one scene that goes on for so long where they're like fire the phasers.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's so slow.
Delay that phaser order.
Belay that phaser order. And it's like,
the thing that's really impressive about this movie is the fact that they managed to keep it going at exactly that pace while not making it sound like that for the rest of the time.
Yeah, exactly.
It truly never stopped.
It's one of the longer Star Trek movies too. I think it might be the longest one until we get to 2009, probably. Or I think Into Darkness was definitely longer, but
I think it's like 220, right? 210 somewhere in there. Like that's
I think it's 210. It might be 220 for the director's cut. Although I saw this time I watched the theatrical cut, which I hadn't seen in a while, and I have to say, if memory serves, even though the director's cut is longer, it's paced better. It's still not paced great, but it's paced better.
Okay, that's interesting. I'm not sure which one it was I watched for the most recent one, whatever's on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, that's what I did too, yeah. And I'm pretty sure that's the theatrical.
Okay.
So it sounds like we kind of agreed on B?
Yeah,
Sure.
B, I'm okay with B.
We might move it later.
If I was all by myself, I would have personally ranked it a bit lower, but I think that might have also just been because, like, we were outside and it was really hot.
Well, there'll be times where you're just, like, I'll be serious. There'll be times where I just, like, oh, I want to watch something Star Trek. And, like, I haven't seen the first movie in a while, and it'll kind of hit the craving.
Yeah.
I can see that.
But, yeah.
I could see, like, putting it on in, like, the background while you're doing something else and enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, if that's the only thing you have to focus on, then I would not be into it, personally.
Go ahead, Lindsay.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, like during the scene where it, like, takes 10 minutes for them to fly up to the Enterprise, and they keep cutting from Kirk to the romantic shot of the Enterprise back to Kirk. Like, I'm going to be on my phone for a minute. You let me know when you move on, movie.
I like how there's, like, that one scene where it's just, like, you've got, like, the soundtrack and stuff, but then it just keeps on cutting to, like, images of them just all going, like, and well, they, like, look out because it's like, whoa, but it's, like, and then it just, like, goes on for, like, 7 minutes.
Hey, the famous ship scene where they're flying up to a ship at least inspired the lower deck scene where they're flying up to the Cerritos, and they just keep on cutting to it while what's his name, Boimler is just literally crying just how beautiful it is.
And even then, they don't do it nearly that slow.
No,
they're just really repetitive.
It's beautiful.
Like, I think the movie comes together brilliantly. Like that third act when you realize that V'ger is Voyager, and especially like watching it in hindsight because I had actually forgotten about that. So like, oh, Voyager, that's like it's like predicting the future, but like I don't know, that comes together just really well, and also because I don't know, the whole thing is about sex. That's kind of, I wasn't quite ready for that either.
Well, listen, Spock flew through a vagina.
He did.
It's natural. It's
and
natural.
that's truly the best part of the movie. The entire time we were sitting there and we were like, when's Spock gonna do the thing?
But Paul here is kind of agreeing with me. Yeah, as I recall, the director's cut is paced a lot better. The theatrical is just a little
interesting. I'll have to try and check that out just out of curiosity then.
Mm-hmm. It is longer, as I recall, too. So.
What was funny is there was definitely a moment where I was watching this because Paramount Plus, like it shows how much you've watched and the total time. But I'm used to, I think it's Hulu right now that shows you like how much is left. So I saw 2:20 left at 50 minutes in. I was like, ah!
No! How is it this long? That would be terrifying.
And you too, Lieutenant.
My oath of celibacy is on record, Captain. May I assume my duties?
By all means.
Okay, so next up we got The Wrath of Khan, the soft reboot of the entire film franchise. Because essentially, like, the first one looked great, but there was a big budget to it. And it did make its money back, but Paramount was just kind of like, hey, we should do this for less money. And then they brought in Harve Bennett produced it, and then Nicholas Meyer, who's done TV work, came in to write and direct it. So we got Wrath of Khan.
Ooh.
This is one of my S tiers. I love this.
I think that Wrath of Khan is like Wrath of Khan is a very good Star Trek movie.
Mm-hmm.
You guys already know this. I think if I was like making the tier list all by myself, I actually don't know if I would put it on like S or A, but I definitely wouldn't put it any lower.
You're fired. Get out. You know.
I mean, it's a very good movie, and honestly, I feel like if I were to like do it later, I probably have to like go back and make sure everything was like properly sectioned from each other so that like it doesn't like look like let's say for example I put it in A tier, but then like I end up putting like another movie that I don't like nearly as much in A tier, it's gonna go up to S tier like automatically, you know? Like I'd probably have to like weigh through it once I was done just to make sure everything like matched correctly. You know? And it's definitely a good Star Trek movie. That's not an insult to it, by the way.
No, it's awesome.
Yeah. A's for awesome.
I know. Just say I was like one of the best soundtracks. I know the motion picture is incredible with that crazy sheet metal thing, but the music in Wrath of Khan alone just puts it on another level.
Yeah. Yeah, James Horner just fucking knocked it out of the park. I'm 99% sure it was James Horner for.
I think you're right. Yeah, pretty sure.
Yeah, but yeah,
apparently this is Gene Roddenberry's like least favorite movie because he didn't like.
I mean, I kind of get it because like he had so much control over the motion picture, and then they kind of kicked him out for this one. Yeah. So there's a history for that one.
Yeah. But you know, you just got to pace movies a little differently than a show. You know, that's all there is.
Yeah.
Sorry, Gene. We love you.
Yeah, no, Gene created this franchise, so I can't attack him for that. But, like, I'll be honest, I think sometimes it works better when other people aren't in control of it. Just like, these are great ideas, Gene. Here's what we're going to do with them.
Especially because, like, the concept of Star Trek is, like, so collaborative, like, in of itself. Yeah. Like, you really need some cooks in the kitchen in order to really make Star Trek work, I think.
Mm-hmm. And I think like we should probably touch on Ricardo Montalban, who essentially comes back as like the crazy Khan. He's over the top, and it's fantastic. It's a glorious performance.
I shall leave you as you left me, as you left her, marooned for all eternity in the center of a dead planet, buried alive.
It's also great because he's never in the same room of any of them except Chekhov and Paul Winfield. That's it.
You feel his presence because he's just like it's Shakespearean, like the how into it he gets and how grand he makes even like the most simple of things because he's so articulate and his vocabulary is so wide. It's insane to watch, especially because that's his real chest too. You know that, right? Like that's not like
everybody likes to be like it's plastic, and it's like. No, if it was plastic, I don't think they would do that. I think they'd be fine covering his chest.
No, he's just a jacked dude who's also an incredible actor.
Yeah. But so my vote is S. Lindsay, what's your vote?
I'm down for S. I actually saw this movie like a year or so ago, like a special screening at an AMC, like right after Nichols died, and it was magic. Like because like so few of that crew is still alive, and just seeing them all again, it was beautiful. And like any of the movies I guess could have fit that, but like this is just such a good movie for just all of them. It's beautiful.
Yes. So I think we're going S, Ashlene.
I have been, and always shall be, your friend.
I'm okay with that. I have no issue. As I said before, I am perfectly okay with going to S.
And also Paul Winfield, like that's worth 3 points alone, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's Darmok. Come on.
Darmok, Angelot, and Tanagra. I was curious. I'm in Doha. Saka.
I always forget that's him. That's so it's so cool.
He's in Star Trek a lot. There's lots of actors who just pop up in random roles all the time.
Oh yeah, no, it's so sad that the guy that plays Shran in Enterprise wasn't able to ever be that. Like they only gave him that one part. They never brought him back for anything else.
Yeah, I know Shran. Yeah, Jeffrey Combs never got to do anything but Shran in Star Trek.
Yeah, poor dude.
On the contrary, I found it to be quite dull, boring. I'm sorry to hear you say that.
He wanted to do more, but no.
They just wouldn't let him. They were like, no, you can't. And then he came back as Johnathan Frakes.
No, that's what I'm waiting for. I want them to cast him as two characters in the same episode and just have him play off of himself. I want to see that.
Oh, they need him to play off himself. I was about ready to say they cast him in two characters in Deep Space Nine in one episode, but
that's true. That's true.
Yeah. What I want is for there to be a scene where there are only two characters in the room, and it's both of them are Jeffrey Combs, and he just has to talk to himself for a while. I think that would be beautiful.
You have a familiar voice. I don't know what you mean. All right.
You annoy me.
Next up is Search for Spock. So I know this is an odd one. I enjoy this. It's not great for me, but I enjoy it.
I would put this in A because it's definitely it's not like a personal favorite or anything like that, but I would 100% rank it higher than the motion picture.
Don't call me tiny.
I would too. I lean A for it as well, but might get knocked down because there's probably some A's coming up where I'm like, I don't like that in the same tier. But
so I have
where
a
you
lot
at
of
with
thoughts
it, Lindsay?
on this one. Like first off, Christopher Lloyd, incredible. Like automatic 15 points. I don't know what the scale is for these points that I'm handing out, but he's there. He's a Klingon. It's incredible. His dog is obviously fake and just horrible, and I hate it. But it's Christopher Lloyd, man. It's incredible.
If we don't help each other, we'll die here. Perfect. Then that's the way it shall be.
But it also what's something I'd forgotten about these movies are 2 through 4 are like a mini trilogy.
Yes. 2, 3, and 4 are all supposed to be like back to back to back. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the fifth one completes it perfectly.
Oh shit! Well,
we don't talk about the fifth one until we get there. And
it's just I love the fact that the entire we'll get to it. The entire fourth movie is set on the ship of the bad guys in this one. That's just cool. But and Nimoy, he directed it. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, he directed 3 and 4. Mm.
Oh, he directed 4 too.
Yeah.
He never figured out how security camera footage works.
Yeah,
That's okay.
no, and both
we accept him.
You can see
his flaws.
Yeah, both movies use security camera, and it's literally just footage from the past movie, and it's like that's not security camera footage. Leonard. You gotta reshoot it. I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah. Okay, but the fact that he directed 4, okay, so that's actually I can forgive 3. I can't forgive 3. That I don't like this movie. I love Spock, but I always hate bringing a character back to life, and I guess it makes sense because the Genesis device from Khan. I guess we didn't really go into the plot of Khan, but it's all about this device that just creates livable planets and life, and the way that can be used as an incredibly destructive weapon is a reoccurring theme for the rest of the film franchise, which is again pretty cool. Like the Fast and the Furious, the God's Eye from 7 never came up again. Like anyway, but something about this movie just doesn't work for me. So I would push for putting it in like C tier. But I admit that I'm the minority on that one. Although I will also remind you of the Star Trek curse. By this being an odd number movie, it's bad.
Okay, so I will tell you that that this movie is definitely not my favorite. I'm also not a big fan of the whole thing where you bring a character to life. I feel like that has to be handled in like a very, very specific manner for it to work. And most of the times it just doesn't. And, I also, it's not, I didn't hate it, but it's not like a personal favorite of mine. I would be okay putting it down lower, but I would like to throw like an idea over to you. I'm not a big fan of this movie, but I am even less of a fan of the motion picture. So I think that what we should do is that we should put this one in B and we should move motion picture down to C. That is my proposal.
That's interesting. What if we create like a B.5 category? Like is that possible? Like
I don't want to overthink it. I don't want.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
This is too much. It's too much.
I guess if I was to watch one of these again, it probably would be Star Trek 3. Partially just because I just found out that I guess Kirk's kid is like he was a friend. He and my dad were friends for a while, so I'd want to go back and just watch. Yeah, as CP has joked in the past, the cavalcade of people that I know or my family knows in Hollywood is incredibly random. Also, he died of AIDS just a few years after Star Trek 3.
It was like 89 or something.
Yeah,
I think
great actor.
He also popped up in a TNG episode as well.
That's right. Dude is so talented. Rest in peace, man. Like, so yeah, you know what? I'm okay with Ashlene's idea. Yeah, I can rock with that.
That's not my name, but thank you.
Actually, I'm sorry. Oh my god.
You got wrong. You see, she brought up the idea to you, and I don't even know if I like it. Like, I think I can live with 3 and B, but I don't know if I want to kick down 1.
Okay.
I'll sit with it for right now, but I might bring it up and be like, hey, 1, I don't know if 1 should be there. I don't know.
I mean, it's not set in stone later, so we're going to end up going back to it anyway.
All right.
Also, you can call me Lindsay or whatever you want for the rest of this.
There you go.
5. Get out!
3.
Get out of there! Get out!
1.
So next up is Star Trek 4. This is Search for Spock was Leonard Nimoy's first directing job, and then Voyage Home was his second. I love
this movie.
Yeah, no, it's kind of wild. Like,
so this is the one with the whale, right?
Yeah,
this is an S tier for me.
There be whales here.
Admiral, there be whales here.
I was thinking A tier on this one. So like,
really?
Yeah.
But
you guys are gonna roll me again.
Listen. So, but you don't understand the fact that there's like an alien species that has come to Earth, and the one species that they care anything about are like whales that like died like thousands of years ago. It's so perfect. It's so perfect. I love hijinks. I think that hijinks are great.
Well,
and yes,
that is something worth noting, because this is the only Star Trek movie they did that's kind of like a copy.
You watch where you're going, you dumbass! Well, double dumbass on you.
Like, there's so many comedy episodes of the Star Trek series, but like, as far as official movies, this is the only one I'd really class as a comedy. Although other ones have lighter moments, but like,
yeah, and I think it really makes it like stand out, and because it's a good comedy, it makes it stand out in a positive way.
Yeah,
you know?
it does work, and comedy is tougher.
I spent the entire time watching this movie because this is the first time I'd watched it since I'd seen the Kelvin timeline movies. I spent the entire time watching it, be like, I want Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto to run around San Francisco in the 1970s and just get into hijinks.
Yeah, no, the Kelvin movies. We'll get to them when we get to them.
We'll get there.
On the Kelvin movies.
Yeah. But yeah, no, they definitely could use more hijinks. Where were you with Star Trek 4, Lindsay?
I think this is an S tier for me. So like, I love that they never explain the aliens. I adore that.
Do you mind stopping that damn noise?
And I say screw you! We're all bloody worthless.
Like it's just like this weird space pod with this thing hanging down and it's destroying everything. And then when they hear the sound they want to hear, they just go. That's cool. That's all you need. You don't need an explanation. The thing wanted whales in the universe. That's all the explanation we need.
I will say the I remember there was a time where this movie seemed cheesy because they're like, oh, whales are dead. Now we're just kind of bringing them back. Oh, it's an environmental message.
Since the dawn of time, men have harvested whales for a variety of purposes. 100 years ago, using hand-thrown harpoons, man did plenty of damage. But that is nothing compared to what he has achieved in this century.
And I'm not going to lie, looking at it now, I'm like, that's actually based. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's 100% awesome. And the fact that, again, they're on the ship the bad guys flew in the last movie.
Yeah.
And they're like figuring it out as they go is so great.
No, I love the idea that, like, obviously they have this Klingon ship. So they're like, okay, let's do it immediately afterwards. That way they can go to Earth and cloak and hide. And it's a skeleton crew, so we don't have a whole lot of people. We can just focus on the main guys. They take every opportunity they have for this one, and they make the most of everything they have. So
I would love to have been there in the writer's room, and they're like, wait, Klingon birds of prey have cloaking devices. That's perfect.
Yeah.
I really like the part where Chekhov asks where the nuclear weapons are.
Excuse me, sir. Can you direct me to the naval base in Alameda? It's where they keep the nuclear vessels.
I think that it's perfect. I think I'm gonna air out one of my main complaints with really I guess a lot of these movies. Any movie that Uhura is in, I feel like she is not given her due.
Oh, she gets her due in the next one.
Hello, boys. I've always wanted to play to a captive audience.
Listen. I mean, I guess Shatner did the most with her, but
why?
Listen. Okay, my opinion on that was that if Shatner truly wanted that to be in the movie, and he was, and that was his idea, then I feel like if you have an idea like that and you're a part of the cast, I feel like you shouldn't push it onto any of your teammates. You should just do it yourself. Okay? If you want that to be in the movie so bad, it's up to you.
Yeah. Well, Nichelle Nichols, like, her character didn't even get a first name until Star Trek 2009. So, it tells you how much they were thinking about her throughout this entire film.
Oh my god, I never realized that before.
She didn't have a first name until 2009?
Yeah, that's where they gave her a first name.
Oh, no! Oh, was that why they spent so long building up to that?
Yes, yes, that's why it was like, hey, what's your name? And she's like teasing him. Yeah, that's the whole point behind it.
It's Jim Kirk. If you don't tell me your name, I'm going to have to make one up.
I think they might have done like expanded stuff, but that's when the name was actually established in canon.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, so like the video game thing of there's like external materials that give you the information of
yeah. If you do the proper homework, you can find out her first name.
I knew that apparently like Sulu didn't have like a first name for a while, but like I know it happened before then.
Oh yeah. Hikaru was figured out before then. Yeah. But yeah,
was it this one or was it 3 that had like Spunky Sulu where he's like flirting with a guy while blowing up the panel and shooting things to the phaser? You remember the scene I'm talking about?
That's 3. That's 3.
Oh. Keeping you busy?
Don't get smart, Tiny.
That is 3? Okay, so that gets 3 points. Okay, that was cool.
Yeah, he beats up a guy who's like twice his size, and then that's the one where Uhura gets to point a gun at a kid and lock him in a closet, and then she's not seen again until the very end of the movie.
Truly, Uhura kind of just what happens. I feel with Uhura is that like she shows up once, and then like you just never see her again for the most part. I feel. I mean, I guess she gets more screen time in the later movies, but like, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, here in 4, I guess she did all right in 4. In 4, it was her and Chekhov going to get the nuclear energy, and then so she got a little bit.
I think the main thing though about that is that you know how they had like all those little comedy sections.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like Uhura didn't really get that. Like it was mostly like she was there when they had like the joke about the nuclear.
Yeah.
Nuclear vessels.
She was kind of the straight man, actually. That's kind of a good point. Yeah, Chekhov was the cartoon character, and she got to just kind of be present.
Yeah, but they didn't really do anything with that. She was just kind of there.
Yeah.
Also, Star Trek 4 cast Sisko's dad as a Starfleet officer, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, and then they brought him back for 6 as well.
Yeah,
so
that's right. Was he in 5? I don't think he was in 5, right?
No.
Okay,
no.
Yeah. No one was in 5.
I guess should we go ahead and get into 5?
Let's.
Sure.
No,
okay,
this one is obviously an S tier.
This is my one where I'm like, yeah, this is definitely D.
I do love the first scene of this movie with like the guy digging and like the dramatic horse riding.
Yeah, actually,
but like
there's potential with the Cybok character. Like, there's ideas here that we could explore, and that like when we actually get to them, it just feels so shallow and just.
Zachary.
Quinto.
Por favor.
And Lawrence Luckenbill, he's like a Lucille Ball's like stepson or something like that.
Oh,
so like he has ties to like the franchise, but
that blew my mind when I learned that Lucille Ball is like has a major player in why Star Trek exists. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So, what did Lucille Ball do? I've never heard of this before.
She was one of the ones, like, obviously she was big on TV, and she was one of the ones who was pushing for Star Trek to get made. I think
she was a producer too, right?
Yeah, I think it was made under the Desilu label. So,
I mean, good for her. Thank you, Lucille Ball.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Lucille Ball, we don't have Star Trek.
Everyone say thank you to Lucille Ball.
Yeah.
And so that also means we wouldn't have Galaxy Quest, we wouldn't have Mass Effect, we wouldn't there's so many things in our world that we love.
Babylon 5. Yeah. It's all gone.
That woman was a legend.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So Star Trek 5. And like I was going into, Lawrence Luckenbill, I think, does a good job with the role with limited
100%.
amount he has.
Yeah.
Share your pain. Share your pain with me. And gain strength from the share.
I do love the scene where like Kirk is like, you don't have a brother. I know for a fact you don't have a brother. I don't have a brother.
Yeah.
He's my half brother.
Why didn't you tell us this before?
I was not disposed to discuss matters of a personal nature.
So
that's great.
They're dancing around it.
So did anyone else notice? So I felt that this movie, just the way it looked, everything felt like it was in like a stark contrast to the past movies, in the sense that I thought that it, in a way, just looked a lot like cheaper, if that makes any sense.
No, so
and like if it was cheaper, I don't think that's an issue. But like, there have been cheaper it's mainly though that I thought that it just kind of looked kind of like more like it was like made for like TV than other movies.
Oh yeah, so like part of the deal with taking the franchise away from Gene Roddenberry was that they needed to be cheaper made. So like 2, 3, and 4, like when you compare them, the visuals in those movies are quite a bit like cheaper. The fancy shots are quite a bit more limited than they are in the first movie.
Doesn't really stick out to you.
That being,
much, though.
because like the character stuff is so good, and you just are, the stories are so engaging, it doesn't really bug you. And then this one doesn't have that to save it, and it just looks so goddamn cheap. Like, even if it had that to save it, this one looks cheap. Like that, the shuttlecraft crashing into the dock is so bad.
Just in general, like everything about it looks like it would be like, like it would look good maybe for like a TV show,
Yeah.
What's funny too, I just looked it up. This one cost $2 million more than 4.
There's no excuse for that.
Oh,
no
my
excuse.
Goodness, no.
Well, 4 was really good. Just to keep praising 4, like it was brilliant with its budget. Like the scenes of like the crew in San Francisco, that probably didn't cost very much. So they took the money that they saved doing that and recycling sets from the previous movie and just went freaking nuts with like the Starfleet like falling apart from the super alien weapon. That's good budget management right there.
Yeah.
But we really have to thank Shatner for the deep storyline of this one.
Merrily,
which is why we should put it in D.
So Nimoy done the past 2, and then I think there's a clause that says if essentially Nimoy gets to do something, Shatner gets to do something. So Shatner directed this one.
Oh, Willie Shatner.
And it was supposed to be the last one for the original crew, but man. He had his hands in the story, so like it's tough not to look at this and just feel like it's a Shatner ego project, because it feels like one.
Shatner
it starts with him climbing a mountain.
I regret to inform you that the record for free climbing El Capitan is in no danger of being broken.
Shatner has good taste in costuming, but I don't know about and I refuse to explain that to anyone, by the way. Me and my father are the only people that understand what I'm talking about, but that's okay. That's okay.
He complimented her Alice in Wonderland costume at a con.
You're all dressed up like little, like what? A fairy tale. What's the fairy tale?
Alice.
What?
Alice.
Alice in Wonderland. Exactly. My God, it's Alice in Wonderland. You look beautiful, and your face and hair, everything about you is Alice in Wonderland.
Oh.
Okay, that gets him 5 points. Okay, good job.
So now it's S tier. But
it's complimented her costume at a con tier. Like it's
its own tier. It's the top. But so apparently, like, this story was supposed to be about all the crew eventually turning against Kirk. But essentially, DeForest Kelley and Leonard Nimoy, like none of the rest of the cast like that, but only Nimoy and DeForest Kelley had enough sway to get them to change it so that at least they don't.
Could they at least have okay, I'm gonna weigh in for a second here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, could they like have at least let Uhura like?
Uhura gets the fan dance, Ashlene. It's wonderful. It's a great moment in Star Trek history, and not mocked and ridiculed.
Uhura, I feel like gets to do like nothing in these movies. It's so disappointing. Listen, I stand by my statement from earlier that if Shatner really wanted something in the movie that bad, he should have done it by himself, because you don't dump that on your coworkers.
Listen, Nichelle Nichols was not the youngest actress when she did that. I'll give her credit; she looks good, but
yeah, she went for it too, man. Like, like, good for her. Like,
but oh my god, like,
I can't believe that was like the entire point too. Like a bunch of people like, oh my goodness,
yeah,
hey, look, if there's anything Star Trek fans love, it's naked ladies. Just
Hey, at least Lower Decks. Didn't Lower Decks do the same thing with?
Dance, point, dance!
Ooh, yeah, feels good, feels right, yeah.
Hey, stop that! Now you're distracting me!
Man, you guys are gonna get me into Lower Decks and like, okay, all right.
It's awesome. All right. It's awesome.
Oh, that's amazing.
for gender equality.
Yes.
Also, I do want to see the episode of Brave New World where Boimler is there, but in real life.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty cool.
That was a fun one, yeah.
I cannot help but notice that you keep staring at us.
Sorry, it's just that, you're Spock.
I know one of the main things that I noticed about that episode is that I thought that Boimler I could like recognize pretty well from the original. I felt like, oh my goodness, I have Mariner. I felt like Mariner was like, you could tell who she was, but she was definitely a lot more toned down, and I understand why. And it's because it's live action acting.
Yeah.
But like, you know, just expect for her to be a little bit different than you remember her.
Also, just what's his face is just a great actor. Like The Boys, Scream 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although it's kind of obvious he was the killer in that Scream movie.
It is the same guy. I thought that guy looked familiar.
I just remember seeing him on the poster thinking, he's probably the killer, isn't he?
It's like when Ben Kingsley showed up in that the Prince of Persia movie. It's like, why are you here if not to be the villain?
Yeah, exactly. It's like whenever you see a famous actor pop up in Law and Order, it's like, oh, that's the killer.
This is why I don't know who anyone is. I enjoy movies better.
But anyway, Star Trek V. It's a D for me. This one's boring. It's got ideas, and I always like. I feel like they're really aping off Kirk because there's that Klingon crew in here that has that is kind of just tacked on.
Yeah.
For no reason. I keep on forgetting they exist until I watch this movie.
I completely forgot about them. Aren't they like trying to like destroy like Kirk for like honor or whatever?
Yeah, they're trying they're going after Kirk for literally just bragging rights.
It literally doesn't tie into anything at all. Also, oh right, yeah, this is also the one where they have like the ship that's falling apart.
Red alert. I just fixed that damn thing.
Yeah.
And honestly, I feel like if you're a Klingon and you're going after someone, like I feel like this was how it would go if I was writing this, which I wouldn't write this because why would I be writing this? But if I was writing this and I had to put in like a Klingon plot about this where like they wanted to kill Kirk or something or whatever, but I had to put them in like a really broken down ship, I would literally have them like go on screen with each other and I would have Kirk be like, my ship is terrible right now. And then he would be like, there is no honor in killing a man in a broken ship, and then they just leave.
Yeah, that would actually have been pretty in character, wouldn't it?
It's like I feel like that would actually make sense. Like I feel like that's something that like a Klingon would do.
So this is S tier, right, guys?
You see, it's Father, what you don't understand about this movie is that it's really deep and meaningful. They include the classic, beloved, and extremely deep Urfian song, "Row, row, row your boat."
Merrily, 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 lightly down the stream. Merrily, 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 merrily.
Which truly adds so much. And then, why is God in need of a starship?
Excuse me.
It will carry my power to every corner of creation.
Excuse me, I'd just like to ask a question. What does God need with a starship?
I feel like
which is why it should get D tier.
We should also talk about that Kirk falling scene. That looks so goddamn bad. Oh god.
I honestly don't even remember that. I might have like blocked it out of my mind or something because I didn't watch
it. It only lasts for a couple seconds when he's falling off that mountain, but like, yeah.
I feel like I can visualize it, but I just don't remember it. You know,
it looks like William Shatner just being hung in front of a green screen while they play footage behind him.
I didn't even feel like he was being hung. I feel like they just turned the camera upside down in order to like.
Yeah, maybe. It might have been that simple. I think we're actually all talking D tier on this one.
Yeah,
it's so deep, which is why it should go there. Really,
I mean, it's got some of the most iconic stuff in Star Trek, but not for the reasons you want.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think chat's agreeing.
Good job, Kenny Hankins.
There's nothing amazing about it. I know this ship like the back of my hand.
Yes. So we're at Star Trek 6. This one actually ended up being the final one for the entire original cast. They came back because 5 was not good.
5 was perfect in every way.
So they came back for 6. This one, they also brought back Nicholas Meyer, who did Star Trek 2 for this one as well. And this one is a classic story that is completely politics free.
Yep.
It's about like the Klingon homeworld is suffering, so the Federation decides to reach out after years of Cold War, reach out and try to build an armistice with them. So there's There's no real world parallels between this and real life at all. Yeah, no, this is like, this probably has to be the most political movie, obviously.
Probably.
This is also, like, I'll go ahead and say this is one of my S tiers as well.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I know we only watched these movies like a month or so ago, but like my brain isn't like picking up any scenes from this one. Could you just tell me something cool and memorable that happened so that my brain can work correctly?
Okay, so they have that awkward dinner with the Klingons.
We need breathing room.
Earth, Hitler, 1938.
I beg your pardon.
Oh right, yeah. This
awkward.
one, I love this one. This
Yeah.
one's perfect. Yes, so good. Kirk has to deal with his internalized prejudice.
But you know how I feel about them. They're animals, Jim. There is an historic opportunity here.
Don't believe them. Don't trust them.
They are dying.
Let them die.
Yes.
And Spock is based as always. Yeah. It's good.
Yeah,
I
that's
like
true. This
one.
is the Kirk is racist arc, which, I mean, it makes sense following the movies, how he's just pissed at Klingons after what happened to David. And
Klingon messenger killed my son.
It's awesome to bring that back up. It's a meaningful way to bring it up, too. Yeah, I love this one. Lindsay,
the
what are your
cast
thoughts
of
on
this
Star
one
Trek 6?
is so good. Like, you have Michael Doran's in there. You have Kurtwood Smith. You have Christopher Plummer. Christian Slater. I always forget he's in this one.
Yeah, I remember like when he was in there for like a split second. I was like, oh my goodness, it's Christian Slater.
Right?
Well, you also, like, you didn't even bring up David Warner, so like you're out, Lindsay. Like David Warner, a brilliant actor. No, he's the main Klingon ambassador. He gets a great role here after kind of being completely wasted in 5, where they brought him in as just like the human ambassador. And do you remember that there are ambassadors in that movie? Like, the Klingon one came in useful, but everybody else was just forgotten about.
I guess this reminds me of what I said earlier. I don't know who anyone is. I only know a very specific set of actors. I don't know what David Warner looks like.
Well, in this one, he's covered in Klingon makeup, so I don't know what it looks like helps a lot. Yeah, but you also get Christopher Plummer as the villain, who, you know, he's in a Klingon ship that can fire while cloaked. Something that doesn't really come up again often. But yeah,
you also see Worf as a lawyer.
But perhaps they merely wore Starfleet uniform.
Colonel Worf, we are interested in facts, not theories.
Yeah, Worf. Lawyer Worf. That's the Star Trek series we need.
Yeah.
Worf goes to law school.
so this was actually the first time when I watched this and prepped for this. This is the first time I'd seen this one since I was like 6. So I had completely forgotten so much of this movie, and I adore this movie. Like that sequence where they turn the gravity off on the ship, so everyone's just hopelessly floating in the air. Like, the CGI is not great, but that's badass, you know?
Yeah. No, the whole mystery aspect where like after the dinner, the Klingons go back to their ship. You know, Kirk's just on the bridge. They're like, oh, there's this weird reading. It's like, okay, radiation reading, whatever. All of a sudden, the Enterprise is firing on the Klingon ship.
You know anything about a radiation surge?
Only the size of my head.
I know what you mean.
And Kirk is just like, what's happening?
What's happened?
We have fired on the Chancellor's ship.
Torpedo room! Please confirm. Have we fired?
Why are we shooting at them? Why is this happening?
Confirmed, sir.
On ship's getting attacked, he's like, how? What? Huh? And you're just left completely in the dark as essentially the Federation is attacking this Klingon ship, and our main guys are like, we're in command of this ship. What's going on? I don't know.
This is the bridge. Do you read?
Torpedo Bay, did we fire those torpedoes?
Negative, Captain. According to inventory, we're still fully loaded.
We haven't fired.
Captain, according to our data banks, we have. Twice.
Captain?
And I love the mystery aspect of this. Yeah. It's
a classic murder mystery in space.
In space it is, yes. So my ranking was S. What's your vote, Ashlene?
My ranking is also S.
Lindsay?
Yeah, I think I said A on the one that I sent you guys last night, but after just talking about it, I'm just so happy. I want to watch that anti-gravity scene again. Yeah, it's like
Cry havoc! And let's slip the dogs of war!
And Worf is a lawyer. Like, how it's so. I kept watching his scene, being like, that can't be Michael Dorn. This is like a year away from him getting cast as Worf. It can't be, and then it was.
It's not actually like Worf.
No, this was. I believe this was like 3 years into TNG when this one came out.
Really?
So, yeah.
Oh,
And
that's even cooler
like,
then.
And it's not like actually Worf. Isn't it like a relative of
Yeah, I
his?
think it's supposed to be his grandfather.
Yeah.
But it's Michael Dorn playing a lawyer.
Yeah, it's essentially lawyer Worf.
Yeah.
Can you imagine,
awesome.
like, if they casting Blakey on his name and Garrick as another Cardassian just to be cheeky? You'd be like, what? That's Garrick.
It's insidious.
They famously do that a lot, but okay, so here we go. The transition movie, Star Trek Generations. I have mixed feelings.
I have no.
I like this movie.
Okay,
So wait, was this the one where like Shatner died and they like?
Yeah. So
okay.
Traditionally, you ask for captain on the bridge. This is the first one where they asked for bridge on the captain.
Oh.
No. So like atmosphere wise, I think this one kind of does all right. It gets like, for me, the atmosphere falls apart in the third act where we're in the Nexus and then things get really wonky. The villain's plan is garbage in this because like it's set up that like he has to like essentially be on a planet and destroy a whole bunch of planets to get back in the Nexus, despite the fact that Kirk is just there from just being on a ship that blew up. So like you could literally just get a shuttlecraft and fly in there if you really wanted to, but apparently that's not good enough for him.
Oh, is this also the one where we have like a flashback to like Picard's family or whatever?
Well,
They're
yeah,
all, like, from the Victorian era.
Love you, Father. Were you scared? Look at the tree. I helped decorate it.
Well, no, we actually deal with some interesting story stuff as well because Picard's family, they like his family died in a fire, and he's like, he's dealing with a lot of shit in this one.
About all the experiences that Renee's not going to have, about going to the academy, reading books, and listening to music, falling in love.
And some of the best, like one of the best episodes of Star Trek, like right after Best of Both Worlds, he just goes back and like he hangs out with his family.
Yeah.
So you get emotionally invested in that. Like
I think that the work that they did with Picard and like his whole like relationship to his family's death, I don't know if that's the best way to describe it, was well done. I just think that it's interesting that they chose to clothe them in that way.
Yeah.
Considering the time period.
That's true, yeah.
It's like,
it was way too old school.
That...
he wasn't in the 18th century, guys. Come on.
I mean, I guess you can make an argument that like the clothes came back in fashion or whatever, but like whatever.
Why?
And like whatever, they look nice. They've got very like nice bright colors on, but like still.
Yeah. Well, remember the episode, the best episode of TNG, Sub Rosa, when they're on the planet of ancient Ireland. Like it happens.
Sure.
Oh, Ronan. I had no idea I could feel this way.
Yeah. God, where would I want to put this? Because I don't hate this one, but I don't like it either. Like
it's tricky for me too because I like it. I know it's not a good movie, but I like this one. Mr. Plinkett, I keep shouting out bigger YouTube channels. Great video on this.
Well, dude, Red Letter Media is awesome. Just period. But
I would put this in B just because that's like the eternal middle ground,
Yeah.
And I feel like it's made for a movie like this.
I also like when you look at the production behind it, like it's entertaining enough, kind of, and then you look at the production behind it, and like they were like, we want to get a Star Trek movie out, and that's why they ended TNG, and they like ended TNG and rushed this into production and got it out like I think like that the end of that year after TNG ended, and like you can tell like there's like the uniforms are the most obvious tell. because they're constantly changing style of uniforms because they didn't have enough uniforms made. So they had to borrow Deep Space Nine and Voyager I don't think was around at that time. So it was just Deep Space Nine uniforms were getting borrowed left and right. This production was a wreck, and like they obviously had to rush out the story, which is why like a lot of the stuff is wonky, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still like some solid stuff here, and it's worth noting. This was written by I want to say Ronald D. Moore and Brian Braga, who did. They also did First Contact after this, so that they kept on writing after this. And First Contact is such a step up. We'll get to it soon, but like this feels rushed. It really does, and I like. It's like, dude, like. Imagine how good this could have been if they'd given it just 1 year. Just said, we're going to push this back to 95, and we'll release it then. I think this could have been really good, and instead, it's just rushed.
Like we mentioned earlier, like it's a little weird that the plot of this movie is a guy who's willing to blow up a sun and give up like a whole solar system when really just make better shields, man. Like just invest in some shield tech and you'll be able to fly. Well, in case you haven't seen the movie, if you're watching, the entire thing is about getting in this like space ribbon that just lets you live in your own personal paradise forever outside of time. It's a little weird, but spaceships explode if you fly into it. So the guy like blows up a sun to redirect the ribbon to hit a planet that he's on in order for him to get on it. Like, just build better shields. It's so much easier. It's I don't even like it's like a random solar system too, right? It's not like the Milky Way or anything like that. It's not a solar system
it's
like invested in.
It's a whole new species we haven't seen. I think they're supposed to be pre-warp or something, but like it's a couple billion people who are supposed to be dying when he does this. So well, there's stakes, but like I almost want to put this one in B, but I don't like putting it in the same tier as 3. So
I think
we make it
fair.
C. Yeah. Okay.
Like I love the data and motion chip stuff. Like that's great. And
dude, the I don't feel like they fully explored it as much as they could, but like I love the shit. Like when the ship is crashing, and Data just looks and goes, "Oh shit!" Yeah, it's just such a great moment.
Brent Spy is great.
Yeah.
Also, I love memeing on the scene where Guinan's like. Giving Data a drink and he's like, "No, I hate this." And Guinan's like, "More? Yes, please."
Oh, yes. I hate this. It is revolting.
More?
Please.
Yeah. So there's stuff to like here, but like I guess there's stuff to like in the first one too. So we'll keep them in C.
It is cool seeing Picard and Shatner on screen. Like it's hard to
yes.
Picard and Shatner, cool. Picard and Kirk on screen.
Together. Yeah, Picard. Listen, Patrick Stewart's such a good actor. He embodies the role, and Kirk is just Shatner.
You're a Starfleet officer. You have a duty.
I don't need to be lectured by you. I was out saving the galaxy when your grandfather was in diapers.
Okay, so next up is First Contact. Spoiler. This is now one of my S tiers. I love this one. So one of the aspects I love about this is how essentially it's kind of like Star Trek 2, except in Star Trek 2, it's Khan, the villain, who's essentially gone insane, and he will stop at nothing to end the Enterprise.
I'll chase him round the moons of Nibia and round the Antares maelstrom and round perdition's flames before I give him up.
And this one, you get the same thing, except it's Picard. In this movie, Picard goes insane, essentially, and he will stop at nothing to stop the Borg from taking over the ship.
I will not sacrifice the Enterprise. They invade our space, and we fall back. They assimilate entire worlds, and we fall back. Not again. The line must be drawn here, this far, no farther.
And I love the fact that like they actually have Patrick Stewart, because like you can't, like William Shatner is good with a good director, but you can't give him a role like that. You can give to Patrick Stewart and he can carry it.
What's that scene where he's like, "And I will make them pay.
I will make them pay for what they've done."
Like, holy shit, Picard.
Yeah, he is. He's a little damaged from the Borg. He's a little damaged. And this movie does a good job of exploring that. And yeah, I love this one. There's not perfect, but it's close enough for me.
Well, and this one also started a trend because I think this is the one that really. Oh, I mean, I guess Wrath of Khan technically started the trend of getting revenge, but then like this one kind of like solidified the trope in a way, and like because like all the Kelvin films are about guys getting revenge.
Yeah.
But you know what? This one is like you said, it's a really interesting character study in a way for Picard. While it's also pretty action heavy. So it kind of does the best of both worlds.
Boom. As he does a descent. That sounds popular at two-parter.
But there's issues with the film too. Like you could say, like I think the Borg are going about their plan in like the worst way possible, but like cinematically speaking, like in order to be like an appeasing story to put on screen, you kind of have to do it this way. Also, this is the closest to DS9 movie we're gonna get with the
I know. Defiant gets a cameo with Worf. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that is cool.
Oh wait, is this the one where it's like happening during the Dominion War and like
No, that's next one.
That's the next one.
Oh, we got issues with the next one. That's part of it. It's like, how dare you waste that thing?
There was an entire war going on.
Yeah.
And you all couldn't even be bothered.
I guess what's our votes for First Contact?
That's it. Maybe it's our first A. Or if you guys want to put it up an S, like I don't really have an issue with that. I'd say A though.
Okay, what's your vote for it?
Disown me if you want, and I'm not going to say that it's bad. 110%. I'm telling you what. I'm not saying that it's bad at all. Hearing you all talk about it makes me have a great appreciation for it. But I am really struggling to. So listen. Okay, so
Wolf says assimilate this, and then shoots a bunch of Borg.
Assimilate this.
Like, that's all you need to know.
It's awesome.
Right, yeah. You see, the issue with this is that like you guys are talking about it, and all I'm envisioning is like the Borg stuff from the original series from TNG. And I guess I don't know. I think I kind of lost faith after the first TNG movie, and I think my brain kind of was like working on like the way you guys are talking about it tells me that I should watch it again, but I just don't remember it that well, and I think my brain just wasn't as committed.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, no.
So I really don't have a vote. The way you guys are talking about it makes it seem very cool, and I 110% would like to watch it again.
It sounds like it's going A that way because
if
it's not sticking in our brain.
it did introduce the Borg Queen, which is pretty sick.
The Borg Queen.
Yeah,
and this is the Alice Krige playing the Borg Queen version, right? I think.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm okay with putting it in S tier. Then, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Oh, is that the one where like the Borg Queen has like the whole thing with Data?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I like that scene. I can't remember.
There's kind of like almost like that's a good thing to bring up because there's almost like a sexual thing going on between those two. And it's weird, but it's intriguing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that good for you?
Data's always getting it on, man. Good for him.
Dude, he's got the moves. He's got... all right. So that brings us to Insurrection.
So this one is the best Star Trek movie ever, guys. And
this one isn't forgettable at all.
This
so
one was
amazing.
actually, I think, I don't know. This one was actually fairly memorable for me, but not in a good way.
I don't think this one's terrible. I think like this is like okay for like a two-parter in like the TV series, but for a movie.
Oh, wait a minute. No, I don't. I actually don't remember this one at all. I'm thinking of another movie. I take everything I said back.
Well, this is actually the one that took place during the Dominion War.
Oh, right. Yeah, I remember this one. Worf like gets up onto the fight and he just like leaves in the middle of the war.
Yeah. So like you have a war going on, and it's like it's so obvious. Okay, let's do one of the let's have the Enterprise do one of the most important missions of the war, and have that be a movie.
Yeah.
And no, instead we have this side story with the Baku and the Sona, and then some lines to indicate that the Sona are working with the Dominion.
Look at this. The Sona are known to have produced mass quantities of the narcotic Ketracel white.
But why are you working with the Sona? That
could we?
Oh, was that, I forgot. I missed that. Is the Sona working with the Dominion?
Yeah, no. The Sona are one of the biggest producers of Ketracel white for the Jem'Hadar.
We could have had the TNG cast like helping like fight, and like the Dominion War. We could have had a couple of well placed DS9 cameos.
Yeah.
You know, and well, I would far prefer to just have a DS9 movie. That would be the next best thing for me.
I mean, you don't like okay, so you don't even need Deep Space Nine cameos, but like just like have this really important mission during the Dominion War that the Enterprise needs to do, and then just do a movie about that. Yeah. That would be so much cooler than what we got here.
Instead of like basically like Picard and the whole guys calling up Worf and and them being like, listen, I just need you to forget about that. So I heard you're in like a war right now. Forget about that. It's not important.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah. No.
Just get over here. We're gonna screw around for a little bit.
We got some people who really believe in facelifts, and they're hardcore into it, and we're gonna work with them.
Well, that scene where they kill the Admiral with the facelift machine, that was nightmare fuel for me for a few years as a kid.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you though. I can't remember anything about this movie except like the part where like they like decide that it's the Dominion, except that the Dominion War isn't real anymore. The Dominion War doesn't matter to Worf, and it doesn't matter to anyone else.
I mean, that is something that does drive me nuts about this. It's such a missed opportunity, but just judging it on its own.
Truly, the crew of Deep Space Nine are the only people that do anything ever, and we're not including Worf when we say this. We're not including Worf.
But this it's just not a great movie. And like I said, like if this was like a two-parter in the TV series, it would have been fine. I would have been okay with this. But like as a movie with a bigger budget, you have it's like the Sona and the Federation working together to spy on the Baku because they have this planet that makes them younger, but
it like flies in the face of like some of the themes of some of the better Star Trek episodes too, where it's like, put the needs of these people ahead of like the galaxy and stuff like that. Like it's really wishy-washy, and
I don't know. I'm okay with kind of the overall story, but I don't know. I just don't care about it too. It just no impact. There's no impact at all.
The conscious decision to have this take place during the Dominion War, though, is just so terrible. Like, couldn't you have done it at any other time?
I'm trying to judge it for what it is, but yes, it's so wasted.
What's his name as the bad guy? The guy who killed Mozart in
F. Murray Abraham.
Yeah, he's great. He's a very good villain. Also, the plan is just so convoluted. We're gonna teleport them up to the hologram ship, and so they don't know we've teleported them, and then we're gonna take them to another planet and put them there, and they'll never know because we're gonna make the planet we put them on look like the planet we took them from. What?
Yeah. It's almost like it's convoluted. And to my understanding, there's not even that many of them on the planet. And like, why couldn't they just share the planet? But apparently the Sona just want to harvest the planet so they can get all the de-aging stuff faster.
Also, like, just take some of their blood. Like, just be like, hey, yo, can we do a blood drive where you just give us some of your blood? And then, like, maybe you could, like, synthesize a didgeridoo from that. I don't know. Like, why do you got to do all this other stuff? Although I do love when Riker's like, give me manual control, and it's a joystick.
Computer, access manual steering column. Transfer helm controls to manual.
Bridge. That is awesome.
It's incredible. And it's got like a little trigger to release the gas. Because this joystick is for when you need to attack people with gas? What?
And this is also the movie that actually gives us the Riker maneuver, even though we all know it's just lifting his leg over the chair.
I was going to ask about that one.
Yeah.
Once again, another terrible decision.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised if history remembers this as the Riker maneuver.
If it works.
It's just extremely incorrect in every manner.
Okay, touching this can't possibly change the future, right?
Whoa.
Riker.
I lean C tier on this one. Where are you guys at?
Yeah, I feel.
Yeah, C is fair.
C. Put it in C.
Bosom should heave, and his heart should glow, and his fist be ever ready for a knockdown blow.
Although I'm not gonna lie, I actually do prefer Generations and Motion Picture to this one. But
I do too.
Yeah,
maybe Generations deserves B. It's hard to tell.
Okay, so next one. Absolutely, this is a Star Trek movie. Yeah. Absolutely, this is 100%. Star Trek Galaxy Quest.
It's a core meltdown, sir. It can't be stopped.
Surrender may be our only option.
No, never give up. Never surrender.
We're not doing this to make ourselves feel better because of those last movies. We're totally not. No, we're not. We're doing it because it is a Star Trek movie.
Yes, absolutely.
So this one,
no, go ahead.
Go ahead. No,
I was just gonna say it fixes it makes the curse work, because otherwise you go bad movie, you go bad movie, Galaxy Quest, bad movie. It makes the curse work.
It does make the curse work, because otherwise you get two bad movies and then the Kelvin movies are kind of flipped, and
Also, if you know who David Mamet is, very famous playwright, also wrote Glengarry Glen Ross and a bunch of other really famous, well-regarded movies, has been quoted as saying he's only ever seen 4 perfect movies. One of them was The Godfather. I don't remember what the other 2 were, but the 4th one was Galaxy Quest.
The Godfather, A Place in the Sun, Dodsworth, and Galaxy Quest.
Yeah. I don't know what those 2 middle ones are, but
yeah, I don't know who they are either. I've seen Godfather and Galaxy Quest, and it's interesting that they're in the same tier.
Right? That's fascinating. But also, it kind of makes sense in a way. I don't know. It's a really good script. It's super, super solid.
This it's again an example of having fun with Star Trek, but not disrespecting it. It's so this is such a Star Trek movie without having the name. And
also, I have so many friends who don't watch Star Trek, but love Galaxy Quest. How many people like Scary Movie but have never seen Scream? How many people like Robin Hood Men in Tights that don't know the story of Robin Hood?
True.
How often does that happen?
Yeah, that's true. I think Galaxy Quest even exceeds Scream, because I feel Scream kind of stands on its own a bit. I feel Galaxy Quest is even next level, even to that.
Yeah. Which is why I say we added. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Robin Hood Men in Tights is definitely one where it doesn't quite stand on its own, in my opinion. But it's got its moments. It's gonna
give me a moment here. You said that Scream stands on its own. Yeah. Weren't we saying...
Scary Movie.
If we put Scream and Scary Movie together, isn't Scary Movie the parody? I get that Scream is kind of a parody.
Was meant to be... Scream was designed to be a parody as well.
But Scream is a parody in general of the genre. Mm-hmm. It's meant to stand on its own as well.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Did you know the original title of Scream was Scary Movie? Before was it? Flat out parody of it? Yeah.
I mean, I think that's amazing. I think that would have been great.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know how many people would have went to the theaters for a movie called Scary Movie.
Well, it did all right.
Yeah, Scary Movie actually did really good. Yeah.
Started a whole wave of the action movie and the epic movie, and I didn't see any of those, but it did start a wave. And
I'm embarrassed by how many of them I've seen.
No.
But Galaxy Quest, Sam Rockwell alone.
Are we doing episode 81 or not? It's just a rough plan, guy. What difference does it make if it's episode 81 or not? Because I died at episode 81!
I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. We need to add another tier above S, perfect, and Galaxy Quest goes there.
Damn.
I will not much
A tier for it as much as I love it.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say I think this one is a very solid A tier for me. You know, it's definitely not bad, and I think it does what it wants to do very well. I love all of the alien acting; they were perfect in every way.
Our society had fallen into disarray, but since the transmission, we have modeled every aspect of our society from your example, and it has saved us.
But it's
Rainn Wilson is one of them. Did you know that?
I wouldn't put it
briefly, yeah.
But I just wouldn't put it next to the movies in S tier. As much as I enjoy this one, I think it's a very solid A tier and a very good A tier. And it's really not an insult to it that I'm putting it at A tier.
Dude, A tier is a good tier.
A tier is a good tier. It's just that I don't know. I think it's good there.
Yeah,
I think it's good there.
You're impassioned on the A tier. Listen, if it does do A tier, it means it's sitting next to First Contact, which is a good fucking company.
Yeah, that's true. And a couple of other just little things about the movie that I love that if I don't say I'll regret later. One of a super early use of letterbox and then go widescreen for a full screen for a very specific shot when Tim Burton he's standing on the thing and then the ship opens up and you realize I'm actually in space. That's a full screen shot in a mostly letterbox movie, and like that's such a great use of that. Like that really pulls him into the story, pulls us into the story. It's so good.
No, it's a subtle thing too, and you like you're aware of it, but you're not because it all of a sudden like in that moment it just feels bigger, and it's a perfect use of that. I think the cast here is perfect. I think it's a shame that they never got back to reprise them because it was something where I wanted to see like a sequel or some sort of follow up to this. I want
to see their Wrath of Khan.
Yeah. Well, the first thing that delayed it was I know Daryl Mitchell had that motorcycle accident, which is where he's paralyzed from the waist down now.
I didn't.
Which is why whenever you see him now, he's in a wheelchair. But like he was actually one of those actors that was just popping up in a lot of stuff and just like standing out in every role he had.
Are you telling me you can get the hover tank to work?
No, of course not. But we don't need to be holding 4 aces if they think we're holding 4 aces.
So it's like I would have liked to have seen the alternate reality where that tragedy never happened to him, and just see what happens to his career from there. But you also get Tim Allen as the overconfident William Shatner type, and he's perfect.
Truly, he did so well in that film that he almost looked like William Shatner to me.
Had I moved an inch to the left, the beast would have killed me. On the other hand, my crew was in danger.
How did you know what to do?
Come on. Thought my crew. I'm not a commander, huh?
I think that's the goal.
Yeah, exactly. He did such a good job. That was my point.
But you got Alan Rickman, you got Sigourney Weaver, you got Tony Shalhoub, you brought up Sam Rockwell. Just absolutely amazing cast. Like I said, I think it's an A, but Oh, and Justin Long has a role there too as well. And then you brought up Rainn Wilson. Enrique Contani is like the main Thermian.
Commander.
Excuse me?
I must speak to you. It is a matter of supreme importance. We are Thermians from the Klaatu Nebula, and we need your help.
And if you're interested, you can absolutely watch this movie with the Thermian language track on the most of special features.
We can watch it in Thermian?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, this is great. This is great.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, so it's a cool thing. I've watched it for a couple minutes like that. It gets old real fast, but it's kind of amazing they did the whole movie like that.
It's like total gimmick. But
yeah, all the characters just totally going. But,
yeah, that makes me happy. I'm gonna have to check that out. I'll probably only watch like 5 minutes of it too.
Yeah, no, it doesn't last long. So we'll go A tier with it right now.
Go, go!
Well, also, I heard a radio interview one time with Patrick Stewart, and he was talking about how he snuck into it, like he had like a hat on and glasses, and apparently he laughed harder than anyone else in the theater.
Nice.
1 minute to firing sequence.
So I think this one is very special in many ways.
Nemesis.
This one is just such a real movie that exists. That is my belief on it. Is a movie that exists, and Patrick Stewart truly has found his clone. Truly, they look the same.
I love Tom Hardy. I think he's a phenomenal actor, and getting him to be the villain should just be like, oh, this is a great movie. But like, he is supposed to be the clone of Patrick Stewart, and he does not remind me of Patrick Stewart whatsoever. And I hate. Okay, so there's so much wrong with this movie, but one thing immediately that stands out is like, you already have Patrick Stewart, who is a great actor. Have him play the villain if you want to do this angle.
I like how
why are we missing this opportunity?
I also like how they did the thing. Well, it's supposed to be like him when he was younger, but it's not supposed to look like him when he was younger though. He looks different because of like things, and there were flaws.
Not quite the face you remember. Not quite. A lifetime of violence will do that.
And then they like show a picture of him when he was younger, and it just looks like him.
Yeah,
it's just a photo of him.
It doesn't work.
It's like you can't just pull out that excuse and then not use it.
Well, then that's the thing. So then later they like Crusher even explains, oh yeah, he had some encoding it, because the whole point is he looks younger, but he's supposed to pass as Picard, and he had like some DNA in him that would allow him to rapidly age at some point that was never activated.
Shinson was created with temporal RNA sequencing. He was designed so that at a certain point his aging process could be accelerated to reach your age more quickly.
And I was like, okay, just have that activate, explain why he looks older, and then boom, Patrick Stewart is your villain.
Yeah.
But there's other things wrong.
And the thing about it is that like it's not even like I think that the actor that played young evil Picard did not do a bad job. But it is just, it's like he didn't even seem like Picard at all. Like genuinely, I think that the actor was like, "There's no way I'm gonna pass as young Picard. I'm just gonna do my thing."
And he should. Tom Hardy should do his thing.
Tom Hardy should always be allowed to do his thing.
I'm a mirror for you as well.
Not for long, Captain. I'm afraid you won't survive to witness the victory of the echo over the voice.
I just don't think he should have been cast.
That would have been. I'm actually so sad that that's not the world we live in. Now that you brought that up, just having Patrick Stewart versus Patrick Stewart, that would have been great.
Dude, I don't think I've ever seen Patrick Stewart just play a flat out villain. And what a great idea. Dude, let's do it.
He can do it.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
What are your thoughts on Nemesis, Lindsay? We've been yakking on it.
It's the most forgettable one for me, honestly. Like,
I remembered this one, but like for all of the wrong reasons.
Mm-hmm.
You remember like that whole thing where like young Picard can like just like show up in places, and he like immediately uses this for like terrible reasons.
Oh yeah,
reasons that aren't even like relevant to him being evil or whatever. He just decides to like be creepy.
I believe this is the only Star Trek movie with a grape scene.
Mm-hmm.
He can never know you as I can.
Yeah.
Oh no! We remember later when they were like, "Oh my god," and that was like so terrible and crap. And like, Deanna, if you want to like get out of Dodge, like I respect that. Deanna was like, "No, I must stay." And it's like, you're allowed to leave if you want to. Like, take your check and go.
No, that's right. Because what was it? Like they didn't want to pay her, and then they're like, "Well, if you're not going to take this paycheck, we'll give it to Jerry Ryan." And Marina Sirtis was like, "There's no way in hell Jerry Ryan's taking that paycheck," and Jerry Ryan didn't. And then they came back to Marina Sirtis with a better offer.
Jerry Ryan's a badass. Good for her.
Yeah. No, Jerry Ryan's based as hell. I love Jerry Ryan. I love her character, even though they put her in a terrible cat suit. She looks better on the card, by the way.
It would have been at least a little bit better if they did let her burn it like she wanted to, but like I have a feeling what's his name took it home. Like you know,
I don't want to think about what happened to that suit.
Yeah. Anyway.
But anyways,
love you, Jerry.
Nemesis. So this one also, like, you can tell they're really aping off Wrath of Khan for this one.
Oh yeah.
They're going for, they're making a villain that has deep ties to Picard. and it's supposed to be it's clearly a revenge story, and they're trying to set up so much like that. It doesn't work, especially since they've already kind of did the whole revenge thing with First Contact, and they already did it so goddamn well.
Yeah.
And here's something that also drove me nuts with the TNG movies, because I definitely felt, especially after First Contact, okay, let's do a lighter Star Trek movie. We've had a while since 4. Let's do a lighter one. Let's do a Q movie. Ooh. Instead we are recycling, like, say what you will about Insurrection. I will actually say I like the story of Insurrection better than this one, because while this one is, I feel like, more dramatic and I think has a higher budget and looks better, it just feels so copy and paste from Wrath of Khan. It's just it's tough to get into.
Right down to a tragic death at the end of the.
I'm not gonna lie. As I talk through this, more and more, I'm feeling like this is D tier.
This is definitely D tier for me.
Strong D tier.
Never saw the sun shining so bright.
So also, you guys need to let me open up the conversation about the next one, because I have many things to say.
Oh,
I have so many things to talk about.
Star Trek 2009.
Yes, I have so many things to talk about with Star Trek 2009.
Dive in.
I do not like this movie.
Ooh.
I do not. I absolutely do not. And I'm going to explain myself. I think that the action scenes are fine. They're okay. I think it's really jarring in terms of being, like, a Star Trek movie. Like, I'm not saying that action Trek is, like, inherently bad, but there's an element to Star Trek that is associated with Star Trek and used with Star Trek that is just lost. It doesn't even feel like a Star Trek movie to me. Uhura may have had, like, more stuff to do in this trilogy. Okay, listen, let's talk about just the first movie alone for a moment. Tell me the main things that Uhura does in that movie.
Well, she takes off her clothes in that one scene.
Yeah, exactly. And think about it this way as well. Isn't that also, like, the only scene where two women talk to each other?
I think you're right.
Is it? Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh.
That stuck out to me. Like I was kind of bored before, but that stuck out to me like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
It stuck out to me like a sore thumb.
But Zoe Saldana is really pretty.
She's so pretty.
Okay, give her something to do the entire.
She's there for me to look at. That is something to do.
Well, you actually point out something that I had never noticed. So, like, in these movies, like, she asked me, how can you tell the rank on these uniforms? I explained, it's on the sleeve. And then she points out, why don't the women wear sleeves? And that's why I realized in the Kelvin timeline, the women uniforms don't have sleeves on them. And it's like, I just never noticed that until now. That is just so bizarre.
That is weird.
Yeah. So I think I like this one more than you.
I think I want this in C.
You're dedicated to this one in C.
Yes.
I think this one's totally decent. It's totally a product of the time period.
Yeah.
It feels like that, especially when you're watching it. Especially now. It's a very action movie Star Trek. This is Star Trek as a Star Wars movie. I don't know. Like, I think the actors all do a great job kind of bringing back the roles, and I like that this kind of resurrects Star Trek movies, at least for a little bit, after Nemesis killed them nicely.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, like, I wouldn't put
more favorable to this.
I wouldn't put it in D tier, even though I do kind of want to, but that's just because I'm spiteful. But like, you know, I don't like it. It has what I felt were like glaring issues. I feel like with like the whole thing with like the handlement of Uhura and stuff like that, it stuck out to me like really strongly. Because after all of those other movies where Uhura did like basically nothing, I was thinking to myself, like, listen, the 2000s it should be better,
Mhm.
you know? It
Right,
should
yeah.
be better. And, like, I feel like the main scene that Uhura was in... okay, so let's talk about Uhura's... I'm gonna tell you everything that Uhura does in that movie.
Okay. Break it down. Break it down.
She gets hit
Give it to
on
me.
in a bar.
Okay.
By Shatner.
Yeah.
Well, not Shatner. Kirk.
She is roommates with a woman that Kirk is sleeping with. She goes in there. She goes into that room. She immediately decides to strip for some reason. And then she
As you do,
reveals
as
at
you
the
do.
end that she knew that Kirk was in there the whole time.
Kayla, who is he?
Who's who?
The mouth breather hiding under your bed.
You can hear me breathing?
What was that? I don't understand any of that at all.
This is
And then-
character development,
And then,
Ashlene.
and,
This
then,
is char-
and then later, her big main addition to the main plot was, wait for it, she's Spock's girlfriend.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I just couldn't. I just could not.
You're
That's
making
wild.
good cases. I was leaning towards A tier on this one. I was, but you're making good cases. And it is a product of the time. It is so
Yeah.
much a product of the time.
And it's
This
like, I
movie's
guess
like a
she-
roller coaster. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
It's like I guess she like does more in this movie than she did in other movies, but like I don't think that's necessarily better.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like a roller coaster ride for me. I enjoy it for what it is, but it's like
Yeah.
it's not really a good movie.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think one of the main things that stops me in this one is like, listen, I enjoy a good action movie as much as everyone else. But like, you know, I'm not like a big action movie fan per se.
Mhm.
Like if it's like Mission Impossible and they're doing all sorts of like wild crap, like whatever, I'll bite. But like if we're just doing like an action movie, like I feel like, especially if it's like a fantasy action movie for some reason, like I need something else. I really do. And I don't really know what else to say except that I think that I'm maybe like not as into action movies as a lot of people are.
That's fair. Fun fact about Zoe Saldana: she's the 6th actor of all time in terms. If you were to rank actors by their box office takes, she is the 6th highest grossing actor of all time.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. She's probably the highest grossing actress.
Good for her.
No, Scarlett
I know that
Johansson is number 3.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Avengers. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I know that she's also in Marvel, so
Mhm, yeah.
that probably helps her
Well,
check quite a bit.
Well, I was thinking Saldana might. Actually, yeah, I was actually thinking Saldana might trump her because she also has Avatar.
Yeah.
Oh, she was in Avatar. That's cool.
Oh yeah,
That's
she's
cool,
she's
yeah.
the female lead now.
Yeah, I know. I was
don't know.
thinking she looked like familiar when I was watching it, and then I looked her up later, and I was like, "Oh, she's Gamora." Yeah, I can see that.
She's been blue. She's been green. What color is she going to be next?
Yeah. So I don't feel this is remotely D tier, and I don't even know if I want to put it in C tier because I know
B
there's
seems
a
good.
movie coming up that I wouldn't put in D tier, but it's definitely worse than this one.
Mhm.
So I guess for me, B is the lowest I would put this one.
I believe very strongly in the C ranking.
Mhm.
I would not put this at this. Listen, I don't really like.
Like I
the
said,
movie in
I
B,
would leaning A.
but I would not put that in. I feel like it's almost like kind of like I just wouldn't put it in like I don't even want it to like listen. I don't like Star Trek Free, but I really disliked this one. You know, if that makes any sense. This actually like listen. I'm not saying watching this was like worse than watching the motion picture, but I had more stuff to actively be mad about.
Mhm. Lindsay, what are your thoughts on Star Trek 09?
I'm going to go for B just because there's a performance in this movie that's kind of underrated. Eric Bana as the bad guy. Like,
Yeah.
it's one of my favorite line reads ever.
I'm Captain Christopher Pike. To whom am I speaking?
Hi, Christopher. I'm Nero.
Yeah, just nonchalant, just like yeah,
Just not caring
Where
in
the
the
fuck is
slightest.
Spock? I'm looking for
Yeah.
Spock. Okay,
But this is this is like a Disneyland ride. Like,
Yes.
it's
Yeah,
not good, but I do enjoy it.
I do
I
too,
apologize, Ashlene. I agree with everything you're saying, but
Yeah.
there's, like
Yeah.
Simon Pegg.
I like this ship.
You know, it's exciting.
No, that's the thing. I think the cast here is great. I like Chris Pine as Kirk. I do.
Yeah.
I like Zachary Quinto as Spock. Although I think they've been pretty much knocking out the park with Spock actors because I think Ethan Peck is fucking great too.
Okay.
You got oh god, Carl Urban as McCoy.
Yeah.
Like physically, he doesn't look like DeForest Kelley, but like he has the attitude perfect.
Back home, we got a saying: if you're gonna ride in the Kentucky Derby, you don't leave your prize stallion in the stable.
A curious metaphor, Doctor, as a stallion must first be broken before it can reach its potential.
Yeah,
like
I
it
know.
is right there.
I know when I saw him though initially, I was like, I know this man. Is he from that one TV show? And he was from that one TV show.
Yeah.
Which one? Which one?
Well, you probably think of The Boys.
Right?
Right?
I am thinking of The Boys.
Oh, The Boys. Right. Like, what show is he in? No. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, the cast here is great. Zoe Saldana. Yeah, she's very beautiful, but she's a good actress too. They don't give her enough to do, but she's good.
This is why I want to see the Star Trek 4 of the Kelvin timeline. I just want to see these actors as these roles just being dorks.
Yeah, and I feel like they were on the right footing when we get to it, but yeah.
I feel like the whole thing with oh my goodness, I forgot what the sentence is going to be, but let me cook for a moment here. Okay, so
she's cooking.
Listen. There are movies. So, Spock actors. There has not been a single Spock actor that I have disliked. I feel like, in general, the Spock actors have been good.
Yeah.
I will tell you, though, that I felt like my appreciation of Spock's acting in these movies was kind of dampened by the fact that I just didn't enjoy it.
For the record, Nimoy is still my favorite Spock, but Ethan Peck and Zachary Quinto, I think, do a great job. Okay, for me, I think Ashlene's made the passionate case. We'll put it in B. It puts it next to Search for Spock, which I think is all right as well. So,
I have been and always shall be your friend.
So next is fucking Into Darkness. Okay, I'm going to confess something, a deep dark secret.
Okay.
When I first watched this movie, I really liked it, and then every viewing after that, I watch it, and then I go, what movie was I watching? Because I'm not digging this one.
Boo this man. Boo him.
Absolutely disgusting behavior.
Yeah, I know. Because I'm like, I don't know what Star Trek Into Darkness I watched that I really like, because I'm just every time I watch it after, I'm like, this doesn't.
I despise this movie. You could not pay me to watch this movie again. I mean, that's not true, but I consider this movie an art crime. It is wrong. It is foul. It is dirty. It's a weird 9/11 conspiracy film. They build up a character saying his name so much, and 60% of the audience didn't even know why it was a big deal. Why this character was named that.
John Harrison was a fiction created the moment I was awoken. A smokescreen to conceal my true identity. My name is Khan.
Who? What? Sorry. Okay, I'm good. Let me breathe. Go ahead.
Okay, so we want to talk about how Star Trek 9 drives us nuts because it doesn't involve Dominion War. Well, this one almost has the same thing going on. So I thought the great idea to do with the Kelvin timeline is, okay, if you really don't want to do something original, here's what you do. You look at original series episodes and say, hey, let's do that with a movie budget. Let's say the Doomsday Machine with a movie budget. Let's do let's do the Gary Mitchell where no man has gone before with a freaking movie budget. There is so much you could do with a movie budget. And you know what they do? They say, fuck it, let's just go back to Star Trek 2.
Yeah. They reboot the entire universe just to remake the second film.
Budget.
Okay, so let's
so bad.
Allow me to tell you my piece on this. I am once again going to analyze. So listen, I know that I didn't go as hard into this, unlike the older movies, but that's just because I kind of have a lower standard for older movies and how women are treated in older movies, you know?
Yeah, fair.
And while this isn't
Yeah,
like
you know,
super
I think that's fair.
recent,
Like
I also think that I should dig into it just a little bit more because they had less of an excuse.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk for a moment. Uhura. She wears pants very briefly. That's
Ooh.
nice. Okay, so
the little things.
so let's talk about the other things that she does. So this is the one where she has like the conversations with the Klingons, right?
Yes.
That had a lot of potential, I feel, for her to have like a moment where she was like, you know, instrumental, like personally as a character. But of course,
you need water.
Yes.
Mhm.
But of course,
It's just you've been talking a lot. I'm over here grabbing drinks and
oh my goodness.
Bob's just sitting back, being like, "Cook, girl."
she's got her thoughts.
Okay, so she gets to talk to the Klingons, and we almost got there. We almost got our cool Uhura moment, but then they didn't listen to her. But luckily enough, she had 2 white men to help her out in the situation.
Yeah.
Thank God. Thank God.
And then later we have the character that I can't remember that was good at technology. I don't think I should have
Scotty?
No, the lady.
I'm talking
lady.
about women right
Oh,
now.
Carol.
So listen,
Yeah.
I don't think I need to explain anything about this.
That scene was so
I don't think I
Oh my
need to
God.
explain my opinions.
But there is a nearby planetoid. I can open one up there, but I will need some help. Turn around.
I just randomly need to strip. Don't turn around. Yeah. Oh, you turned around. Now there's a shot of me standing all sexy. Oh dear. Oh dear. It's like
I feel so bad for that actress. Like I saw a movie a few years ago with Keanu Reeves, and it was like he was like making robots of his family that died. It's like interesting concept. But every time I can't remember her name, and that makes me feel even worse. But every time that Allison what?
Alice Eve.
Alice Eve. That's what Alice Eve. Thank you so much. Every shot of her in that movie is of her ass. Every shot, her ass is right at the camera. Maybe not every, but it's like 75%. Like there's one scene where she's standing around, but in a way that's completely unnatural and could not have been comfortable just so she could be ass to camera. I feel so bad for her. Like she's actually not even a bad actress. It's just like Hollywood.
Yeah.
Just stop.
So okay, so let's talk about this for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
So like listen, she gets to do some tech stuff, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't think we like see like a whole lot of that from what I remembered. We do get to see the whole thing where they open up like the things though.
Mm-hmm.
Of course she didn't do this by herself, of course.
Yeah.
We need a
she
man.
had a white man to help
We
her.
need a man to help her. And so then you ask yourself, okay, well what else does she have to do? She has clearly is an important character in this movie. So what she does is she goes up to her white male father and is like, please, please.
I don't believe that the man who raised me is capable of destroying a ship full of innocent people.
But Dad, please. And that is what she does in the movie.
Well,
yes.
I think like that's the thing. So like I watch this and like the Peter Weller stuff almost kind of works for me. Like him is like this Starfleet admiral who's like a complete fucking dick and like, you know, he's, you know, Section 31, I'm making this super ship that's gonna fuck your shit up. That stuff almost works for me.
You park on the edge of the neutral zone, you lock on to Harrison's position, you fire, you kill him, and you haul ass.
I guess we haven't even brought him up yet. Benedict Cumberbatch Khan. So Benedict Cumberbatch, good actor. I like him as an actor. He is not Khan. Are you serious? When did Khan become the pastiest white British guy?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I do not think that Edward Cumberbatch is a bad actor.
Yeah,
in any way.
Yeah.
But it was also
I
like,
love the scene where Kirk is punching him
Yeah.
and he's just like no selling it. Be like, are you hitting me, bro? Are you hitting me, bro? Like that's great.
Yeah. No, they're like, I don't know if I can quite D-tier this one, but like it's. I don't know. I could probably talk into
I
it.
would D-tier
Well,
it.
Lindsay, you sound like you were D-tier on this one as well.
Oh no, I'm in once again. We're creating a new category: crime against art.
Oh, okay.
Really, my plan for the first 2 movies was I would put 2009 in C, and then I put Into the Darkness in D.
Yeah,
that's how we level it out. That's how we make it. That's how
I
we
guess
make it.
I can be talked into D because like I don't. I think this one's better than Battle Frontier and Nemesis, but it's probably not much.
I admit it's a very personal thing that makes me call this almost as bad as the worst movie ever made, Tomorrowland. But so I will give greater weight towards your guys' opinion because mine is not emotionally. Mine's entirely emotionally driven.
Put it in D. Put it in D.
Listen. That's the thing. Like, I don't know if it quite deserves D tier, but like I can be talking to it because it's not good. It's not good at all. It screams opportunities. Like, you know what I like here? There's the super ship, and then Khan takes it over. Fucking Khan again, because God forbid we do something original or remake something that could be remade. Anyways, Khan takes it over, and then Spock gets the upper hand by like beaming over the torpedoes, and then he sets them off, and I love that. I love that. And it's like, and then I think it's almost immediately followed by the Kirk dying scene. And it's like, I think the actors do okay, but it suffers because it's so much an homage to the second one.
And of course, we have to bring the dead back to life again because this is such a good.
Oh God, we didn't even bring up how Khan's blood cures death.
Magic blood.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Literally,
they teleport from Earth
here.
And then they teleport from Earth to Klingon to what's a Klingon homework called?
Kronos.
Kronos. He teleports from Earth to Kronos. They bring people back to life with magic blood. It's just
yeah.
If you're gonna bring someone back to life, I'm telling you, and I'm telling you this right now. You need to take it seriously. You can't just do it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even think of one example of a character being brought back to life that was done in the way where they just came back that I actively enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. I can think of examples of characters being brought back to life, but not in the manner we're talking about.
There are ways to sell it. But
Buffy did it good. Harry Potter does it pretty good. Trying to think of more than that.
Mm-hmm. It's a tough sell. I know. I liked. Didn't I like Stargate when it did it? I don't remember. It's been a while since I've seen Stargate.
Stargate did it a few times. They like to kill Daniel.
Daniel Jackson dies at least twice in that series.
Isn't it 3
and then you sail around at the end. So
yeah, exactly.
Now I kind of want to rewatch Stargate. But anyways.
It's so good.
This brings us to Star Trek Beyond. Are you guys ready for my hot take?
Sure.
Yeah, go for it.
This is my other S tier. I love this one.
I don't know if I put it at S tier. I don't think it's as bad as the other two movies.
This is exactly what I wanted from the Kelvin timeline. This is just kind of a wild action movie, but it feels like it's wild. This feels like a perfect mix between classic Star Trek and then the Kelvin timeline stuff, where you get all the wild, crazy action, but there's also the great character beats. There's there's a
philosophical debate.
There's lots of canon stuff. I mean, this one draws pretty heavily from Enterprise as well, which is great because that's the only one that's still canon in Kelvin timeline.
Oh, that's true. I never thought about that before.
Yeah. The villain is just there's a philosophical debate with the villain because he's peace is the enemy of what we are and stuff like
Unity
that.
makes you weak. You need to get with your own and be strong with your own.
You won the war, Edison. You gave us peace. This is not what I was born into.
It's a little basic, but that's philosophical. I'm down.
And it's fucking Idris Elba. Yeah. Oh my God.
So okay, so listen. I thought that this one was distinctly better than the other Kelvin trilogy movies that as you may have guessed, I wasn't a huge fan of.
You love them. You love them.
I am the biggest fan. But I don't know. I didn't really have a very strong opinion about it. I mean, I guess we could dissect the role of women in this movie. Pants.
Yeah, I can't think of any needless scene where women are running around their underwear in this movie.
It didn't. I don't think there was any like needless nudity in this one, which I guess it's good on the part of women.
No fan dance, no
fan dance. I don't know. I guess though, I still though I didn't really have like a very strong enjoyment of it. Like I guess what I'm telling you is that I don't know. It's I feel like in no universe would I put it on the same tier as Galaxy Quest, but I think that B is very respectable. If you want to like put it down, I will accept A though.
Lucifer
Ride, you're missing out.
Yeah, 100%, man. You know what's funny too is like I went into this one thinking I would hate it because because of the trailer. It just looked like, and because it was also directed by a Fast and the Furious director, it just looked like Fast and the Furious. So I was so not down. And then there was that second trailer that actually had some character, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Maybe this will be good. And then it was amazing. And it's like all about Kirk getting older, and like he's got that line that's like a callback to I guess it's not callback because it came out first. Or did it? Like in Batman v Superman, one of the lines I liked the most was, "I'm older now than my father ever was," and Kirk has an equivalent line to that, which is
1 year older.
Yeah, that's usually how it works.
A year older than he ever got to be.
Pretty cool, honestly, and sadly, taken way too soon. But he got such a great shout out in the movie. Anton Yelchin, man, he was such a good actor.
To absent friends.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Did you ever see Green Room?
He was amazing. He had a hell of a career going, and then God, his death was so tragic that it sounded fucked up too. Like what his vehicle pinned him to a mailbox, and
there was a malfunction with the emergency brake for his car, and it got him. Like
he was a kid too.
I guess to give you I'm gonna give you what my ranking for all the Kelvin movies would be. Take it or leave it. You have to understand, though, that while I think that this movie was better than the other Kelvin movies, I think I just couldn't take any of it as being genuine. I just couldn't. I couldn't see any of it as genuine. And so how I would rank these movies is I would put 09 in C, Into the Darkness in D, and this one in B.
This one's definitely way better than B for me.
I disagree with you.
I think this one has the character beats.
Well, what's her face is always saying, "I like the beats and the yelling."
Music's a bit old-fashioned for my taste, not to mention very loud and distracting. But hey, well played.
I like the beats and shouting.
Well, you do.
I mean, they actually brought Beastie Boys back, and I actually like how they bring it back here because like they have those. Yeah, well, they have those hive ships that like. Yeah. The Enterprise has to fight this fleet of like little itty bitty one man ships, but there's like hundreds or thousands of them, and that's why it just tears through everything. And they have to figure out some way to disrupt the swarm so that instead they're flying into each other and shit. And
honestly, it's one of the best uses of pop music in cinema, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And you brought up Justin Lin, and I was a little bit disappointed when I heard that he was doing it. And then I started reading up on it and found out like he's like a huge Star Trek fan, so he was excited to take over. And then the script here was by Simon Pegg and Doug Jones, and
Doug Jones wrote it too. Like Doug.
Well,
Doug Jones,
it's not the actor Doug Jones. It's a different Doug Jones. Gotcha. They did a great job. This is what I want from the Kelvin stuff. Like I said, remake an episode. I think that opportunity is still open, or just do something original like this. Don't do Wrath of Khan again, please.
This you can't really compare this to any other movie or really any other episode. Really, it really is its own thing.
Yeah, very much.
I just want to put it out there that I was just not a fan of this trilogy in general. I just want to make my opinions clear.
Yeah, that's fair. Also, I love that this one opens with Spock and Uhura breaking up. That makes me so happy. I think that was like an early sign of this is gonna be good.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
You know, Spock, if an Earth girl says it's me, not you, it's definitely you.
Did her do anything in this movie? I honestly can't remember.
She's the main one who has to deal with the bad guy throughout most of this movie.
She has the most scenes with Idiot.
She has lots of scenes with the bad guy, and then she is also the one that identifies that he is actually a human.
Yep.
It's him.
Okay. I guess I'm just
he's the one. She's the one who identifies exactly who.
It could still be more, but it's more than she's done in the past. Yeah.
Yeah. And she kept her clothes on for it, which is a nice perk.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't see any of it as being genuine. I just couldn't. It all felt like monotonous and like it just didn't for me. That's all I have to say.
All right.
It just didn't. Yeah.
Well, I think Lindsay and I like this one,
Okay.
so
B for me. For me.
you want B. I want S, Lindsay.
I want B.
I'd say A.
We go A.
I think it's in good company with First Contact and Galaxy Quest. I know you disagree.
I can live with
I totally
A.
understand. Yeah. Also, that poster's so cool.
I think
so
A is a
Look
good
at
middle
it.
ground. Dude, like I actually have the steelbook of this movie, and the steelbook I wish I could go grab it right now, but it's the cover art is fantastic. The cover art, I believe it's Kirk, Spock, and then Jayla. Is that the name of the alien?
Yeah, Jayla. Yeah.
It's the three of them posed like the poster for and this is the same poster I have on here for the motion picture.
Oh, cool.
Where it's the beams of light and their
Oh,
faces.
that's really sick, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So
I think that your opinions are completely valid, but I just want you to know that I don't respect any of them after today.
well, I just want to go ahead and say now we have made the ultimate objective Star Trek tier list.
That's not objective.
This is objective.
No,
If you
it's
disagree,
so
you're
not.
wrong. Ashlene, you're allowed to disagree, but you're wrong.
It's so incorrect.
Well, I mean, again, I'm the one that wants a category just for Galaxy Quest and just for Into Darkness. So, I'm with you. This is imperfect, but it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Well, here, let me pull up your list because I pulled up the other list, but let me go ahead and pull up your solo list. All right. Let me go ahead and bring up the other tier list. So I had a couple tier lists when I brought up to people, and I need to switch out my screen share here.
Is James Doohan still around, by the way, or did he pass too?
Oh, he passed. He was the second one passed. It was like 2005 when he passed.
Oh, that's right.
He was the oldest of the original cast.
Yeah. So it's just Shatner and George Takei.
Walter Koenig's still around.
And Walter Koenig. Sorry.
Anyways, let's see. Is this it? Yes, it is. So here's my podcast co-host Bobby Quarters. This is his tier list.
Oh, Bobby!
As you can see, it's wrong. But, he's got his moments.
It actually kind of lines up in a few places.
Yeah, he definitely likes Nemesis more than I do.
He does. That's interesting.
2009.
Love you, Bobby. No, nothing but love.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. He has the Kelvin trilogy like I would like
he
him
has
to
decently
be.
love.
He does, actually. Yeah.
I love Beyond, though. I just love Beyond. Let's see. What's his top three? Oh, he definitely has 3 higher than I would put it.
Is that 3 in S tier?
I can respect that. Yeah, S tier.
Ooh,
2, 3, and 4
curveball.
S tier. 2, 3, 4, 6, and Galaxy Quest.
Well, let's be real. 2, 3, and 4. As much as I don't like 3, it's a good trilogy. It works.
Yeah, it's a
really
solid
does.
trilogy.
Yeah.
That's like the Star Trek trilogy right there,
Yeah.
and it's a good one. Okay, so next we have this is this. Oh no,
That's
this
mine.
is yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lindsay. So here's Lindsay's. Yeah, and you made extra ones. You have the Perfection tier and the Crime Against Art tier. I don't know. I think from a raw filmmaking standpoint, I think 5 is the worst.
Yeah,
but
you're not wrong about that.
Nemesis, like I was actually going into this thinking Nemesis might be SC tier because I wasn't thinking I had 2 D tiers, but just talking about it, I was just like, that's fucking D. Ugh.
Yeah.
And then Into Darkness is one that like I said, literally every time I watch it from now on, I like it less and less. And just the idea of me liking it the first time I watched it kind of grosses me out now. It's bad.
It's like, why?
I don't know. I don't know what was going on in my head. I don't know
what have you done with my father.
I don't know. I don't.
Who are you, Robert Setlock III?
Oh dear, I'm getting called out.
I tried not to say your last name online. I'm sorry. My bad.
It happens. It happens.
He has an
It's in
IMDb
my
page.
videos. Yeah, I have an IMDb as
You
well.
have an IMDb page.
Ooh.
It doxed me.
IMDb doxed you.
Oh, I feel so burned.
IMDb. Oh no, IMDb docs. Oh no, that doesn't work. I am docs. I'm gonna stop. I'm done.
I am Doc Speed.
There you go. Thank you. That's what I was trying to do. Yeah.
Generations in A tier. I can't live with that. I'm sorry.
Boom.
Okay,
that's out. Okay.
I'm gonna have to take another moment to look at this little list here. Okay, so once again, the rankings for the Kelvin trilogy are wrong, but I will accept that.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Ashlene. Do I need to sit down and have you just watch Beyond again? Because Beyond is so good.
I'm not gonna like it as
movie.
Even if I have a higher appreciation of it, I'm still not gonna like it as much as you do. I'm
not asking you to like as much as I do, but I think it's better than you're giving it credit for. I really do.
It is. I don't get me wrong. It is definitely better than the other Kelvin trilogy movies. I just can't take it seriously in any respect.
All right, and then next one.
What was that alien and Beyond that like hid the thing in the back of her head? That was so.
Oh
cool.
yeah, that was so cool. Yeah.
Like, sorry, Ashlene, but that's it. I'm not gonna.
I think that it's kind of better, but I think that's not saying a whole lot when it comes to the other.
All right, and the next one came from Morgan, Dane's co-host on his podcast. Fapcast.
No.
Let's see what have we got here. Oh, they got Beyond an S tier too.
Absolutely terrible.
Based
I can't
Morgan,
respect any of you anymore.
You're awesome, Morgan.
No respect. Okay, so. Okay.
I'm okay with 6 being an S. I weirdly am.
I'm just honestly, I'm just skimming through here to see what you guys think of the Kelvin trilogy, and really that's it.
they ended up with the exact same D tier as we did in our list. Yeah. And then
Galaxy Quest and B. No, get out of here.
Oh yeah, no, that's
Galaxy
not so
Galaxy
hot.
Quest is better than Beyond.
Yeah.
It is.
I don't know if I'll go that high, but it's
I
good.
would go that high.
Perfect movie. Perfect movie.
All right.
Miners, not minors.
Yeah. I know. Galaxy Quest and B. What Morgan? No.
Objectively incorrect.
Yeah, objectively the incorrect answer. I think that's all I got lined up. That was fun again, guys.
That was fun. Books, records, films, these things matter. Call me shallow. It's the fucking truth.